From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the News 8 Daily 8.
Now, the latest news.
Kylie Conway has the latest news. The top headlines. News you can use.
Please stand by.
Sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Now, here's Wish TV's Kylie Conway.
Hi, this is Kylie Conway, and this is the News 8 Daily 8 for Wednesday, June 23rd. Another really nice day in store for us weather-wise. A little bit warmer than yesterday, but mainly clear, bright skies, lower humidity, and we'll get to the upper 70s to low 80s. Today, an emergency hearing on a lawsuit against Governor Holcomb is scheduled. As we've been reporting about, two law firms representing 5 people who are unemployed are suing the governor. The suit aims to bring back the federal pandemic unemployment payments that provided an extra $300 per week. Governor Holcomb ended the payments over the weekend, saying Indiana has more people in the workforce now than it did before the pandemic. Under the CARES Act, the payments were supposed to end in September. This morning, there are signs of progress in the fight against COVID-19 in Marion County. Health leaders say virus mitigation is working. Marion County Public Health Director Dr. Virginia Kane says the number of deaths, positivity rate, and daily new cases are all down. According to Kane, though, that is still not enough to fully reopen Indianapolis.
And ultimately, the decision reopen is not about whether we surpass one particular metric, but whether the level of protection from the virus in our community can prevent significant spread and outbreaks.
Kane says decisions related to sporting events like Colts games and NASCAR at Speedway will not be made until health officials look at the county COVID-19 metrics over the July 4th weekend. And this morning, the White House is eyeing a new goal after acknowledging the U.S. will fall short of President Biden's July 4th COVID-19 vaccination goal. The focus now is on getting more younger Americans vaccinated. The White House will work with state and local leaders on outreach efforts. According to the White House COVID-19 response coordinator, many younger Americans feel like COVID-19 is not something that impacts them, and they've been less eager to get the shot.
We are redoubling our efforts to ensure we are targeting, we are focusing on, we are making the vaccine more accessible for those age groups.
The White House says the U.S. is on track to get shots in 160 million adults no later than mid-July. More than 150 hospital system employees in Houston who refused to get vaccinated against the virus are out of a job. A spokesperson for Houston Methodist says the employees either resigned during a 2-week suspension period or were fired. As we've been talking about here on the podcast, a judge dismissed a lawsuit filed by a group of employees over the company's vaccine requirement. So the judge ruled that the hospitals can require workers to get the shot, and this could set the stage for what happens here in Indiana. Some employees at IU Health, as we've talked about, are protesting a similar vaccine mandate. There was a protest just earlier this month downtown. IU Health's policy does require every single employee to be fully vaccinated by September 1st, so we'll see what happens there. And a local answer to any lost learning that may have happened among students during the pandemic. A 5-week learning and enrichment program starts in Marion County. More than 3,600 Marion County students will accelerate their learning and have fun while doing it. It's a free summer program. It focuses on incoming 1st through 9th grade students. Dean of Student Success with Believe Circle City High School, John Manning, was live on Daybreak this morning. She talked about the nearly 40 sites across Indianapolis that are operating summer learning labs and how many students this could help.
Absolutely. The focus of this program is to mitigate learning loss due to COVID-19 throughout the school year. And also, for me, more importantly, to give students access to some of the social and emotional enrichment programming that was cut throughout the school year and lost in the past school year due to COVID-19.
This program will provide social and enrichment activities. It is a partnership and is funded by an $11 million grant from the Department of Education. Parents, you can still sign your child up for the program. You can find a lot more information on wishtv.com. In Carmel, there's going to be a party to celebrate workers returning to the office. The City of Carmel and Allied Solutions are hosting it at Carmel's Midtown Plaza. According to the city, the gathering will also celebrate a partnership between the city and Allied Solutions. Organizers say there will be food trucks, a scavenger hunt, live music, and free COVID-19 vaccinations. The party runs from 11 to noon. The White House chief medical advisor now calls the Delta variant the greatest threat to the country's pandemic fight. A new update from Dr. Anthony Fauci shows more than 20% of new cases from the last 2 weeks are the Delta strain. That's up from 10% of new cases the 2 weeks before that.
In the last 2 weeks, the prevalence of cases resulting from the Delta variant has doubled.
That was CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky. Now, the state health department reports 99 known cases of the Delta variant in Indiana. Now, from the White House to Wish TV, we are officially welcoming the newest member of our medical reporting team, Dr. Jerome Adams. He talked about his experience as the U.S. Surgeon General. News 8's Dan Klein explains why Adams has made the move to local TV.
Dr. Jerome Adams is joining us now. He's the newest member of Wish TV, and we couldn't be prouder.
Former U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Jerome Adams made his first appearance as Wish TV's newest medical expert on All Indiana Tuesday.
You were appointed by former President Donald Trump. So what do you say to folks, Doctor, who maybe think that you're pro-Trump?
Well, I think it's a fair question that people ask. I will forever be grateful to President Trump and Vice President Pence for asking me to take on that role. But once I took that role on, I was the United States Surgeon General, not the Surgeon General for Trump or the Surgeon General for Republicans, but the Surgeon General for the entire country.
There were plenty of lighthearted moments as Adams showed a different side.
First of all, I'm neither a surgeon nor a general. I actually am an anesthesiologist.
He said one of the things that frustrated him most on the national stage was the agenda that most national news outlets showed. That's why he found local TV stations refreshing, giving him the ability to get information out in an unfiltered way.
When you're speaking to a Wish TV audience, that's an audience that just wants to know, how do I stay safe?
Right.
That's an audience that doesn't care whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. They want to know, should I get my kids vaccinated? How do I stay safe from COVID?
Right.
Can we go on vacation? And so Wish TV has always, in my mind, been a channel that tried to steer clear of politics, tried to give people the facts, tried to make it a little fun.
Adams has a unique platform. He's the first modern Surgeon General to have school-age kids, which gave him insight on those types of decisions as well as issues like vaping and teen smoking. He was also personally affected by the pandemic.
I was giving people the best possible scientific information, but I was also living it. My wife had a delayed cancer diagnosis because of COVID. And on Thanksgiving, I actually had to take my wife to the emergency room, drop her off because you weren't allowed in the emergency room. I'm the Surgeon General of the United States. I have to leave her at the door and walk away, not knowing if my wife is going to live the next 24 hours.
His wife is doing fine now, and while his platform on a national stage is no longer there, he says he still wants to use his pulpit, his brand, to promote trust and health equity.
You can figure out the science, but the science means nothing if people don't trust you, if people don't have all the information that they need to make healthy choices. And it's going to be my mission the rest of my life to make sure not only are we getting the most up-to-date science that we can, but that we're translating it in a way, we're communicating it in a way that empowers people to be their healthiest selves.
So don't look for the uniform or politics on our airwaves, just information from a husband, a father, a doctor, and a former Surgeon General.
I don't want anyone to feel shamed by the decisions that they make, whether it's to vaccinate or not, or to mask or not. But what I don't want people to do is to make those decisions based on misinformation. And I'm hoping through our relationship with Wish TV, we can get people the information they need to make the best choice for them.
I'm Dan Klein for Wish TV, wishtv.com, and be sure to follow us on Facebook.
Dr. Adams will be practicing medicine in Indianapolis. You can watch this full interview from All Indiana on wishtv.com. Just grab your phone or your device, your computer, go to wishtv.com and click on this story in the As Seen on Wish TV section. Marion County leaders are looking for solutions to curb gun violence. So far this year, IMPD is reporting 117 homicides. The current pace is similar to last year's when the city saw an all-time high of more than 250 criminal homicides. The phrase going around about this issue is you can't just arrest your way out of this. And that seems to match the mentality of Marion County Prosecutor Ryan Mears. He's working on a bigger picture effort to reduce crime in the county. And it starts with 2 conversations. The first meeting is from 11 to 12:30. The next is from 6:30 to 7:30 tonight. Both meetings are at the Olivet Missionary Baptist Church on High School Road, and 2 community leaders will join Mears, Pastor Wayne Moore and Indianapolis mom Deandra Dykes. The prosecutor's office says the discussions are about reducing gun violence, but also supporting survivors. Dykes is the founder of a nonprofit called Purpose for My Pain. Her 13-year-old son lost his voice and became paralyzed after he was shot at a birthday party. She spoke at the 2020 Democratic National Convention about her son's story and pushed for laws that would keep guns away from criminals. President Joe Biden also has the fight against gun violence on his agenda today and may make some immediate changes. He's set to announce a comprehensive crime reduction strategy today that may include executive actions aimed at tamping down gun crimes and calling on Congress to enact new gun control laws. He's also set to press Congress to confirm his new nominee for the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms, and Explosives. Last weekend alone, there were 10 mass shootings across the country that killed 7 people and injured at least 45 others. That's according to CNN and gunviolencearchive.org. The U.S. background check system prevented more than 300,000 gun sales last year. That's almost twice as many blocked than the year before, according to FBI numbers. About 42% of the denials were because the potential buyers had felony convictions. Gun sales surged during the COVID-19 pandemic. Around 23 million guns were bought in 2020, which was a 65% increase from 2019. And this morning, the White House says the fight is not over as Senate Republicans block a sweeping voting rights bill. President Biden released this statement. He says, "I've been engaged in this work my whole career, and we are going to be ramping up our efforts to overcome again for the people, for our very democracy." The procedural vote to advance the For the People Act was defeated by a 50-50 vote, falling short of the 60 votes needed to advance. The measure would bring the largest overhaul of the electoral system in a generation. Republican leader Mitch McConnell called the bill a solution looking for a problem. Vice President Kamala Harris presided over the Senate during the vote and spoke afterwards.
The issue here is there actual access to the voting process, or is that being impeded? And the bottom line is that the President and I are very clear. We support S1. We support the John Lewis Voting Rights Act, and the fight is not over.
Democrats pitched the legislation as a necessary counter to state-level efforts to restrict voting access. Republicans call it a partisan power grab. And this morning, it's unclear if there will be a new committee to investigate the January 6th Capitol insurrection. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is denying reports that she's expected to make a decision this week on creating a new team. Republican senators have already voted against a plan for an independent commission to investigate the riots. A new select committee would put majority Democrats in charge of the investigation. A former youth pastor in Evansville will learn his official charges after his arrest in a child sex abuse case in Tennessee. Joshua Henley is facing 1 count of aggravated sexual battery and 3 counts of statutory rape. A Tennessee district attorney says the victims ranged in age from 12 to 16 years old. Officials have not said when the suspected crimes happened. According to the DA, Henley is employed as a youth minister at Washington Avenue Church in Evansville. He previously worked as a pastor in Tennessee and was a volunteer girls basketball coach at a school. Law enforcement believes there may be more victims. We have a number to call. Just open wishtv.com on your phone to find this story under the As Seen on Wish TV section. And this morning, the Indianapolis Zoo says it's investigating a zookeeper injury. The zoo says it happened as the keeper was working with warthogs yesterday morning in a holding area away from the exhibits. So far, the zoo won't say how the keeper got hurt, only that they ended up in the hospital and that the injuries should not be life-threatening. The zoo has not released the keeper's name. The U.S. Postal Service is looking to fill open positions in Indianapolis. The service says it's looking for city carrier assistants, mail handler assistants, automotive technicians, and many more. Today's job fair runs from 1 to 4 p.m. at the Indiana District Office Conference Center on Guyon Road. Masks are required. You can get more information now by grabbing your phone, going to wishtv.com. It's that same section as seen on Wish TV. It really helps you find where all of these links are. Self-driving shuttles are now on the streets of downtown Indianapolis. 4 companies work together on the project using autonomous technology in specially designed Lexus cars. Designers say each vehicle has enough cameras for a 360-degree view to see problems and avoid them. There's also a human backup driver inside. The plan starts with rides on the IUPUI campus and other parts of downtown.
I think some people are a little scared of it at first, but once they're in the car, once they see that safety driver can take over control at any time, you realize that you're in safe hands.
The project starts with 9 designated stops in Indianapolis. Each stop has a sign with information and a scannable QR code. The plan is to launch shuttles in Fishers later this year. The Pacers will have the 13th overall pick in this year's draft. Nancy Leonard, the widow of Hall of Fame coach and broadcaster Bobby Slick Leonard, represented the Pacers. The Pacers shared on social media that she wore one of his championship rings for good luck. That luck didn't help the Pacers move up in the lottery, though. The team only had a 4% chance of being in the top 4 picks. The 13th pick will be the team's highest draft pick since 2011 when they selected Miles Turner at number 11. The Detroit Pistons secured the first overall pick. The Colts will be hosting the Carolina Panthers for a couple joint practices during training camp. They're scheduled for August 12th and 13th at Grand Park in Westfield. Colts and Panthers will then play their first preseason game the 15th at Lucas Oil Stadium. The team says it will announce the rest of the training camp schedule, including fan activities, next week. And we are proud to be your home for the Indy 11. The 11 are on the road down I-65 in Louisville on Saturday. And we have your watch party. See the 11 and Louisville City FC live on MyIndy TV 23. The match starts at 7 p.m. And now to some business headlines for you. Indianapolis-based Pondurance says it's acquired Texas-based advisory and assessment services provider Bearing Cybersecurity, though financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed. Pondurance says as part of the acquisition, it will integrate Bearing's flagship platform, My Cyber Scorecard, into its group of managed services solutions available to customers. The first day of Amazon's 48-hour Prime Day event is expected to have driven the most online sales over a 24-hour period so far this year. Sales during the first 24 hours of the mega sale, kicked off Monday, of course, are set to surpass $5.6 billion, 8.7% growth year over year, according to Adobe Analytics. The biggest discounts found on Amazon's website on Monday were for toys, Adobe said, with prices dropping 12% on average. Tide and NASA are collaborating on the first laundry detergent designed for astronauts in space. Challenges like cargo capacity mean astronauts must rewear clothing many times before replacing it. The ingredients will be tested under microgravity conditions and space-level radiation exposure. Restaurant chains, including McDonald's and KFC, are paring back the $5 and under value items in favor of more expensive $10 to $30 combination meals. A strategy employed to lift sales and profits and offset rising food costs as the U.S. economy reopens. So far, it's working. People are buying the more expensive meals. Fast food chains are dealing with their higher raw costs of food. This has been your News 8 Daily 8 for Wish TV. I'm Kylie Conway, online at wishtv.com, and follow us on Facebook when you search Wish TV.
The News 8 Daily 8 is sponsored by LCS Heating and Cooling. Be sure to like and subscribe to this podcast on News 8 Daily 8 with Kylie Conway. And be sure to discover even more great podcasts now at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.